Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Terry, and you're watching Lamont's Life.
Hey, George.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, if you didn't see by the intro, this is Lamont's Life. I'm Terry once again, and you know, we're gonna get started. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that's tuning in, watching, or if you may be listening to this. I appreciate every single one of y'all taking time out of your day. Just checking in with me. So I just want to get down to this before I move on. So this is not officially my first episode, but it kind of is because this is the first one I'm going to put out. I have a few other episodes. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with those. But um, I just had to let y'all know this is not the first one I've done. I did one last week. I did like 4 episodes last week, but something happened. That's just how you know I'm just getting into this space because I'm trying to figure stuff out. I'm trying to do stuff on the fly, but I'm progressing. I'm getting better with it. Obviously, as you can tell, but just to let y'all know, this is not the first episode, but it is in a sense. So, but like I said, I appreciate y'all once again, and it was a little bit of a delay. I did say I was going to drop an episode a little bit earlier this week, but hopefully, I hope to put this out by maybe tomorrow, or like I said, worst case Friday. But I just want to give y'all if y'all obviously, because y'all obviously haven't seen none of the other videos, but I'm gonna just give y'all a rundown of basically what this podcast is gonna be about, and a little bit about myself, and I am gonna try to have like some special guests on here, like friends, family, stuff like that. So I'm excited about that because I want y'all to get a little peek into my life. So people that I got in my group that rock with me. So and, we gonna rock till the wheels fall off. But to really just start as to what the podcast is really gonna be about, it's just gonna be about pretty much it's gonna be about a lot of different things. It's gonna be about I'm definitely gonna talk about sports. I'm gonna talk a lot about sports. I'm gonna talk about um, different sports. I'm gonna talk about basketball, football, um, mostly sports that I know. I know a little bit of baseball. I don't know too much baseball, so forgive me on that. A little bit, I know a little bit of soccer, but I just know mostly basketball and football. So anybody, I know, yeah, I'm saying basketball and football. I know, ton of boxing, UFC, different things like that. So we gonna get into a bunch of that stuff. Talk about sports. I'm gonna talk about my college life. I am a college student. I attend WSU, Wichita State University, in Wichita, Kansas. I take a few classes at Butler Community College as well. So we're gonna talk about that. Just my journey through college. Also, we're gonna talk about um, different things like shoes. I'm a sneaker dude. If you know me, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see me with a pair of J's, or I got on some Dunks, or something like that. So I gotta keep myself fresh. But we're gonna talk about shoes. We're gonna talk about stuff like fashion. We're gonna talk about things like like mental health. Things like that. So I'm gonna try not to you know keep bring a spirit of Debbie Downers or anything like that. So I'm not gonna try to you know have any sad moments on the podcast. But I don't want anybody to be crying when this is over. But anyway, um, what else? A few things I would say that I'm not gonna discuss, and I'm not gonna really get too much into it. But one of the things I'm not gonna talk about, and this is just my personal preference. Like I said, this is just my reasoning. So I'm not gonna talk about politics. That's for the next person, the next podcast, whatever. I'm not gonna talk about that. That's just too. I'm not talking about that. I'm not gonna talk about relationships because that's not really. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about my relationships with the different people I have in my life, but I'm not gonna talk about oh me and my ex why we didn't like I'm not gonna do that. That's not really something I'm gonna touch on. Like I said, you can get that from the next podcast or something. I don't really I'm not gonna really get into that, but um, just mostly it's really just gonna be about just viewing different things from my perspective. Like sports, like my college journey, like like different things like mental health and stuff like that, and just being a good person. Staying humble. Staying true to yourself, being authentic, being you. I'm gonna talk about that a lot. I'm just let y'all know that I'm gonna talk about just being yourself and just being authentic and being real a lot. So stay tuned for that. But like I said, I will have I'll try to get as many different personalities on here. Most of the shows are just gonna be me. So if you don't like seeing my face right now, you can just like stop. But it's just I'm just trying to mix and mingle with different people. Family, friends, like I said. But a little bit about me. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Wichita. I live here most of my life. I was born here. Um, October 16th. I'm a Libra, if anybody's wondering. Until I lived here until I was maybe about 10 or 11 years old, and I moved to Dallas, Texas, and I lived there for maybe like 5 or 6 years. So Dallas is my second home. I have my grandma lives there, auntie, cousins, uncle, aunties, I should say, uncle. Rest in peace to my uncle Lamar. He was living there too. Um, but yeah, I lived there 5, 6 years. Came back here, finished up high school, and decided to stay, and I've been here ever since, and I'm just going through this journey. So just y'all are just gonna get a little peek into just how I see things, and what just things from my perspective. So once again, like I said, I'm gonna say this a lot too. I appreciate every single one of y'all because y'all could be doing something else, and I'm thankful because uh, you know without God I'm nothing. So like I said, I appreciate every single one of y'all, and it's just I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm ready for this. For y'all to take this ride with me and take this journey. So what we're gonna see. I think big things are coming. So I want to see if I have anything else about me because I don't want to be I don't want to talk too much about myself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much everything about me. I do also one thing I am also gonna talk about too because I just love them. And I want to talk about tattoos. I am going to talk about tattoos because they're something significant to me, and I feel like this is a good point to bring them up. So this is something I'll just talk about on the first episode. So and like I said, I'll try to keep it brief because I don't want anybody to be feeling sad or anything. But so I just want to explain. I do have two tattoos. They are a little bit bigger. I'm gonna show y'all in order. So y'all gonna be like, oh, so when do if people might have questions. But starting with, so this is gonna be my first topic for this episode is gonna be tattoos. So I'll just go over the tattoos. Like I said, I'm not gonna really go crazy in depth, but y'all gonna get the point. So I'll start with, and if y'all can't see him, I can just you can reach out to me. I can send you a picture of him. So I'm gonna start with this first tattoo on my arm. Um, and like I said, if you can't read it, it's fine. But I'm gonna just tell y'all what it says. So at the very top, it has "Rest Easy." Like I said, I don't know if y'all can see my arm is glaring off the light. But at the top it says rest easy, and then it has um, my brother Jordan Turner, rest in peace, and then it has my uncle Quincy Roberts, rest in peace to him, and then under that it has praying hands in front of a cross, and then it has the shading around it. So just to show y'all the significance of this tattoo, they both passed away tragically. So my brother Jordan, he passed away back in 2013. He was murdered. It was a situation, and he was 19. Was tragically murdered, and he had a football scholarship. So he was just an amazing person, and he was just, he was the biggest goofball. Like every time you saw him, he was laughing, joking. I remember one time we were talking, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna quit football and play basketball." I was like, "Dude, like," and if people know, if you know, I probably said this story a few different times, but if you know me, and if you had the opportunity to know my brother Jordan, he was a big dude. Like this dude was like 6'3", 6'4", 300, and it wasn't like fat. Like he was a muscle. He was Hercules. Like that was a big dude. But I was like, man, you need to stop playing. Like you're just stick to football. Like football is like that's your thing. And he got scholarship to play football at Baylor. Sorry, Baylor. But he's tragically murdered. And my uncle, he passed away tragically. He had an accident in the shower. He had fell in the shower. Um, um, he had hit like his toe or something. Didn't go to the doctor. Not really smart, choice, but didn't go to the doctor. Ended up, blood clot went from his leg. I think it was like his foot all the way up to like his heart, and he lost consciousness. And then from that point, he, he just he just passed. But um, yeah, the significance of having them on my arm is because they were just two people that were tragically lost. You know, they were gone too soon. My brother, like I said, was 19. My uncle, he was. Let me see. I could be wrong. He was okay. Please don't attack me, family. But I know he was in his 40s. He was in his early. He was like maybe 41, 42. I'm not exactly sure, but he was still. He was still young. He had just started a new job. He was. Things was looking up. And like I said, I don't want to, have anybody like crying or anything like that. But me and my uncle didn't end on the best of terms. Me and him, actually almost got into you know, a physical altercation. But, you live and you learn. And like I said, if I could go back, I would just, life is too short. So anything you might have going on with a family member or a friend, I don't care what it is. If it's something small, like we got into an argument, like it was just a stupid argument. If it's something small, like a stupid argument, like if you can reconcile, do it. Like if you can reach out to that person, do it, because life is too short. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You don't know what's gonna happen 30 minutes from now. So I'll say that to say, and that's why I wanted to bring up my tattoos, because life is too short. You have no idea what's gonna happen tomorrow. So just even if you don't like, just make peace with the situation, whatever it is, and just tell your family you love them, because you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But moving on to my second tattoo, which is on my left forearm. This one is pretty significant, and this is something that's also, like I said, near and dear to me, because for me, just personally, every tattoo that I get, and also obviously the tattoos that I have already, are something that mean a lot to me. So like I said, I'm gonna, like, when I say I'm taking this to the grave, like I'm taking it to the grave. So um, explaining this tattoo, like if you guys can see, like I said, if you want to like look at it, if you haven't seen it, like if you're watching this and you have seen me in person, you probably seen my tattoos. But the significance of this one, so it has my mom's name at the very top, and then it has a Bible verse. So I think one day, this is maybe, might have been like 2021, I'm not sure. So I wanted to, I was thinking of an idea for my second tattoo, and I was like, man, I want to get my mom's name, but I want to get something like, I don't just want to get her name. I want to get something that represents her. Because like any, like, not to say just getting somebody's name is bad, but just for me personally, I want to get the most out of getting a tattoo. So I'm like, man, like what can I get like with her name? So I was like, I'll just ask her one day. I was like, hey mom, what's your favorite quote? And she was like, that's a good question. So time go by and don't get a response. And I'm like, hey mom, you ever get that quote? She's like, oh no. And I'm like, mama, can you write it down, please? Like, because this is something that I struggle with sometimes. I procrastinate a little bit. So like, if you say you're gonna do something, you don't do it, I'm gonna like shrug it off maybe for like a week or two. And I was like, oh, I forgot to do that. And then yeah, so I get her to write it down, and it's a Bible verse. It's if you read the Bible, it's Matthew chapter 6 verse 8. Um, okay, so I'm gonna just try to read it for y'all. So it says, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna lie, because it's a little bit harder to. It's a little bit harder to than I thought it would. But basically, it says, okay, I'm gonna just try to read it for y'all, just because. So it says, "Be not ye thereof." Is it thereof or therefore? I'm not gonna lie. This is okay. The writing is in cursive a little bit. I can read cursive, but it's kind of hard when you got skin. So let me see if I can. And it's on your forearm. So okay. So it says, "Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what ye have need of before ye ask him." So I honestly could have transcribed what that says, but without reading it. But basically, what it says is the Lord knows what you need before you ask him. So pretty much, he's gonna gauge just by your actions and everything what you need before you ask him. So if you come to the Lord and say, and I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but I'm just giving an example as to the points of the tattoo. But basically, like, so if you come to the Lord and say, Lord, I just please help me get this job. He he knows, he sees your situation. Like I said, he's all knowing. He knows everything. He sees everything. So if he sees you trying to take care of your family, you trying to do certain stuff. Okay, I need to get this job, Lord. He already has it in position. He's just trying to take you through the process. He's like, oh, she need that job. Okay, make sure she got it. But it's just stuff like that. That's just an example for y'all. But yeah, that's a significance of this tattoo. My next one, I'm gonna get it on the inside. As you can see, the inside of my forearm is pretty naked. But I'm gonna get it on the inside. I want to get something that represents family. So yeah, I'm trying to still gauge. I don't have anything set in stone yet, but I'm gonna reach out to the guy that also the same guy did both of my tattoos. So his name is Pee Wee. Definitely shout out to him because he's amazing. I mean, I just can't speak to how good of an artist he is. My aunt Raven, she gave me his info, and I've been he did both of my tattoos. So he most likely is gonna do the one that's on the inside of my forearm. But like I said, I don't really have anything planned for it yet. But the inside at some point is gonna be covered up too. But yeah, I did want to touch on that. I am gonna periodically touch on like my tattoos and everything throughout the podcast. But I just wanted to give y'all some insight on that. But another thing I want to talk about, like I said this earlier, but y'all gonna hear it almost, if not every episode, it's gonna be like every other episode. But another thing I want to talk about too is just why, I mean this with um the utmost respect. I don't. One thing about me, I don't look for any rewards. I don't look to brag or anything like that. But um, one thing I'll do is, like, I'm just the type of person, I pay it forward. So one thing I do is I like to help the homeless. I like to help people that are in need. So even though I don't have a lot of time, I try, like, whenever I can. So for example, like I said, I don't do this to brag. So don't try to, like, reward me or anything like that, because I don't do this for any notoriety, any clout, as they call it. I don't do this for, I just do this because, to be a good person. But I don't know. It was back in 20. This is going back a little bit. I feel like I'm getting old, but this is going back to 2019. I think it was 2019. I was working at Walmart, and I think this is around the time I got my first car. It might have been a little bit before. I'm not sure, but um, I get off work and I'm working second shift, so I'm working like 2 to 11, and I stop at Quick Trip. I don't know why I stopped. I think I got like a snack or something. I think I know I had to use the bathroom. So I stop at Quick Trip, and I see this homeless guy outside. And at first I was just like, okay, when I got there, I didn't see him. So at first I was just like, oh, I'm just running here, use the bathroom, and I saw this homeless guy, and I was like, dang, he's cold, and he's out here, like, he's been out here, like, who knows if he's been out here all day. So I just go inside, use the bathroom, come back out, and I walk up to him, and I was like, hey man, are you hungry? Like, do you want something to eat? Like, do you want you want anything from out of here? And he was like, yeah man, I'll take it, man. Thank you. So I take him inside. He gets like a hot dog, like two hot dogs and a coffee. And I was like, are you sure that's all you want? Like, that's it? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And I pay for it. We walk outside, and he was like, man, you're probably the only person out of maybe like 500 people, man. I've been out here all day. Nobody's come up to me. Um, you're probably the only person that's done it. And I was like, dang, like, that's tough. And people can try to take this and spend it how they want to, but like I said, I don't do this for any none. Like, this happened 4 years ago. Like, I'm not doing it for like any notoriety, any clout. But when I look back, I was like, dang, like, it's just like, you take a step back and you see, like everybody obviously has their own issues to deal with, has their own problems, but like, everybody really is just like, each person is really just in their own individual world. So, and not to say that those other people were selfish, because like I said, everybody has their own stuff going on. But for him to say like, oh, you were the only person out of 500 people, that just made me feel like, oh wow, like, I just felt, it was just that jolt of, like, positive energy, like, man, I'm doing something good in the world. And I offered him. I wasn't trying to, like, like, buy the whole Quick Trip, but I was like, man, that's you sure that's all you want? He was like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, all right, man. He's like, man, this is gonna last me. I'm gonna eat this tomorrow. I was like, man, that's what's up, man. Like, and it's even like seeing that somebody, like, who doesn't have like the best circumstances or like the best situation, like, dude was out there with just a cover and like just nothing else, like, just sitting there, like, just all day by himself. And he's like, nobody came up to me. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody else might have come up to him. I don't know. I'm not. That, like I said, that has nothing to do with me. But if I can do a good deed, like I said, pass it forward. That's, I'll do that. But one thing I want to, just tell people is, just being humble, and being, just being genuine, being a good person. Because a lot of times people get caught up in the social media and, the internet and stuff like that. And people just don't know how to be a genuinely good person. Like, it doesn't take a lot. Like, you don't have to have the most money. You don't have to have the biggest house. You ain't got to have the nicest car. You ain't got to have the nicest clothes. You don't have to, you don't have to have, different stuff like that. All you have to, like, it really just, like, it doesn't even take that much. Like, you could be somebody who, got $5 in their pocket, wearing, and like I said, I'm not judging nobody. Like, this ain't a space to judge nobody. Like, wearing some Skechers, and you hold the door for somebody, or you give somebody that $5 or something like that. Like, that could be your last $5, but you turn around and you know you got that promotion at work, or somebody give you $10 or something like that. So just little stuff, like, it really doesn't take a lot to to be a good person. So, and you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to do stuff like, if you're somebody that doesn't, like, just help people do certain stuff or anything like that, like, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying like you have to, like, be, oh, you have to give homeless people money, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, just little stuff you do, like, in your everyday life, like, just to be a good person. Because it's a lot of people out here that are, and I'm not saying they do this intentionally, but they're not. They're, we have a lot of rude people out here. We have a lot of obnoxious people. We have a lot of, self-centered people in this world. And one thing I would just say about that is, I can't speak for them, because we're, I they live their life, I live my life. So whatever, like I said, whatever they have going on, everybody has their own stuff going on. So you can't really, deal with, like, oh, why is he rude? Why is he this? Why is he that? Like, I can only control me. So, I just want people to, I just want to have an impact on people. Like, oh, he's a good guy. He's, you know, stand up guy. He's cool. So that's just one thing I just want to say, like, cause just for me personally, like, I know people that are just like, oh no, I'm not giving that person no money. They could go spend it on drugs, or they could go do this with it or that. And I'm like, at the end of the day, they will, face their judgment. But if, somebody come up to me and say, hey, can do you have maybe like $2-3 for like some gas? I'm like, look, man, just here, take it. That's yours. Keep the change or whatever. Like, I don't, whatever. If you take that money and do something, like I said, once you take that money, that's yours. I don't have any, like, I don't have no connect. Like, that. Take it. Like, take it. Like, hey, take it. Yeah, okay, take it. If I don't have it, I'm just like, I don't got it. I don't have it. I'm sorry, but that's rare. But psych, because I'm broke. But yeah. So I'm just saying, like, just be humble. And, like, you never know, because your situation could be worse. You could be that person out there that's, homeless, only got a cover. And when it get cold outside, I'm talking about like 20, 30 degrees cold, all you got is that cover, and you outside at a quick trip. Or, you somewhere, on the street. So I'm saying that to say, like, just be humble. And obviously, I'm not saying, like, like, enjoy yourself, like, treat yourself, like, take care of yourself. But, just make sure you're not one of those people that's like, look down on somebody. Like, don't look down on somebody else because, your situation, you feel like your situation is better than them. Like, that's one thing I don't do. I don't like people who look down on other people. I don't like people that tear other people down, because, like I said, and at the end of the day, you live your life, and that next person gonna live their life. So if, for example, let's say you just graduated college, right? And you got somebody that's your age. They got maybe like 2 years left, and y'all started at the same time. Like, oh, well, what are you doing? Like, are you, like, just a bunch of different stuff people will come up with in their head, or, like, oh, you're a bum. Like, you still in college? Da, 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 are you still in school? Like, no, you're worried about the wrong thing. Like, they could be on a totally different path than you. So don't try to worry about the next person. Worry about you. Like, that's all I can say. honestly. But like I said, I'm gonna talk about that a lot. Just being humble. Just being authentic. Being down to earth. Because I feel like a lot of people, um, like I said, just get caught up in the social media and like not to knock social media because it's obviously a good platform, but I feel like people treat it as a reality when it's you know they go back to their real life and that's totally different. So I would say if you do use social media, use it positively. Use it for you know a certain impact. But if you know are gonna be in a space where like a lot of people are gonna be seeing, especially if you're famous. I would at least like if I was famous, I would at least want to be in a positive. Like obviously, people are gonna make up things, and you can't control obviously others' opinions about you. But as long as you're a good person and you're doing the right things for you and your family and everybody that you got around you, and stuff like that, and you're doing positive things. That's all you can really do, honestly. But I want to see if I have anything else on that topic. I'll probably speak a little bit more on it, in other episodes. But also, since I did briefly just touch on it like 5 seconds ago, I'm a big person and a big advocate of being, just being real and being you, just being yourself, not trying to be or fake like you're somebody else. Like, no, just be you. Like, it's no crime. There's no rule. There's no law that says, oh, you have to behave like this person. You have to do exactly what they do. Like, you have to do it. Like, no. Like, do you. Don't worry about the next person. Like I said, don't worry. Like, I don't care. Like, do not worry about the next person. Like, be you. Be authentic because you'll know. People will appreciate you for being you. People, at some point, if you're being fake, people are gonna realize like, oh, you're not who you said you were. But a lot of times, and I do sometimes, like I said, I won't name any names, but I do catch scrutiny sometimes for being myself, and it's not. I don't hold that against people, because like I said, people are gonna form their own opinions about you. So, all I can do is say, like I said, I don't. And this is not to be cocky or anything, but I don't care. Like, I really don't care, like, what anybody thinks about me. Like, I will say, I take that back. No, I don't take that back. So, I don't care what anybody thinks about me because at the end of the day, I know as a person that, I'm real, I'm genuine. And at the end of the day, I have a relationship with God that I've just come to the realization, I'm developing, I'm starting to find myself. So, when I was younger, it was harder because I was like, man, I'm trying to impress people and different stuff like that. So just be you, like that stuff you're gonna drain yourself. So just be you. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about that a lot on this podcast, like being you, being real, because I feel like a lot of people try to be something they're not, and it does not work out. So just be you. Like, don't be scared to be you, because the same breath that you're saying, oh, I don't want to be me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. This person over here, they're, and I'm not saying this is how everybody's going to be, but this person over here is a billionaire, and they're, you know, changing the narrative. Okay, they might not have become a billionaire in the same, the same way this person might have become a billionaire, or this person, became successful. They, went through triumphs and all that different stuff. So, like I said, everybody's path is going to be different. If you're trying to, for example, because I am a sports guy, so if you are, for example, if you're a high school kid or college kid, you're trying to make it to the pros, or you're trying to go to the league, or you're trying to go, overseas or to the NBA. You'd be like, oh man, I see this guy's work ethic. He works really hard. That's perfect. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's you. Everybody obviously, should want to strive, to be the best that they can be. But you're not gonna have the same path as LeBron, or you're not gonna have the same path as Michael Jordan. But that doesn't mean you can't get to where they are. Like you can still get that. You can still become a multimillionaire. LeBron just became a billionaire. You can still become an entrepreneur. You can still do different things and get to the level that somebody is at. You just don't have to do it the exact same way that they did it. Like you can do it your way. You can do it your way on your time. You can manage things how you want to do it. Like you're in control. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to base your life on what anybody else is doing. Like, oh, this person was doing this at this age. Like, okay, that's them. Is your name on their birth certificate? It's like is your name on their social security card? I think it might be two different names. Okay, it's two different people. So it's two different lives. Okay, so when they go buy stuff, do they buy stuff for you or for them? When they swipe their card or when they pull out the cash, does the person at the register give that person the card back, or do they give that person the card? So yeah, just be you. Don't worry about the next person, because like I said, everybody is different. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about that a lot on this podcast. So just get ready. I'm gonna talk a lot about it. But once again, going back to what I said when I first started this video, it's gonna be a lot about being authentic, being real, being you. Because like I said, one thing I will talk about on this podcast a lot is my experiences. So if I'm talking about something, then I've seen it or I've been through it personally. Like I've seen it with my own two eyes, or I've been in that situation myself. So I'm not gonna tell y'all about different stuff or sports and things like that I haven't seen or dealt with in my life. So I'm not gonna try to lie and stuff like that. But just be like, you'll waste so much time trying to impress other people, and you won't even not to be. I'm not even gonna cuss, but you gonna feel like crap. Like I'm gonna say, you gonna feel like it's gonna like when you sit back and reflect, you be like, oh my goodness, like they don't even like me. This it doesn't matter. Like the real ones you'll find in your life, the real ones are gonna like you for who you are and what you stand on, your principles and your morals. Like if you just, if you're authentic and you're real, and you're just you're you. Like just be you. Like I don't really know how else to explain it. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about it a lot on this podcast, but just be you, and don't be scared or afraid to, you know, to let that be known to the world. Like whatever, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing in your life. Like just be you, be authentic, be real. Like just be you. Like I can't stress that enough. Like don't try to fake. Guys, if you're like I said, I won't talk about a lot about relationships, but I will say like guys, if you're, you know, if you, for example, if you got this woman that you're trying to talk to, or hang out, or you want to date, or you see something with her, don't try to be fake, man. Don't try to be like, oh man, I'm gonna borrow my homie's car. I'm gonna see, my such and such has a Hellcat. She likes Hellcats. Like, no, man. Like, it's cool to find out, obviously what somebody else's interests and stuff are, but just be you, man. Like, obviously that helps with, this is something, like I said, I struggled with this when I was younger. I won't say I struggle with it too much now, but like just being able to just like have an interaction with people you don't know, that's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard in some aspects. Me working in customer service helps, but just be you. Like don't be afraid. Like don't be afraid of rejection. Like whether it's like I said with a woman, or like if you have a job interview, you know, or you could be like doing like some kind of like I don't know, like a presentation. Like just be you, be real, be authentic. And that's not to say, just to one thing also too, like don't be out of control. Like don't be I don't I'll touch on that a little bit later, but just be you, be real, but also be able to, have the discipline and maturity too. So but yeah, just don't be afraid, like I said, of rejection in any aspect of your life. Like just do. I feel like people, especially I wouldn't even say guys, but just people in general, like, and this is I think one thing that social media has made, I wouldn't even say worse, but just like made it one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like the idea of rejection, like it's just like I don't know, like because I've been rejected. I'll just give y'all a prime example because, like I said, I'm not gonna touch. I'm gonna try not to touch on relationships. But anyway, I was at the gym one day and I saw this lady, very 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 beautiful. Um, I don't know her name. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know her name. It might be good that I don't know her name because I don't want to call anybody out or expose anybody. But I saw her at the gym and I was like, dang, she's she look good. And I was just like, it's just one of those things where like you see somebody and like, oh, they're attractive, and just keep moving. But then I was like, I kept seeing her, and she worked there, so I kept seeing her more and more, and I was like, man, she's, and obviously I don't think too much of it, but like when people say, oh hey, especially when you go somewhere, somebody's at work, and they say, oh hey, how you doing? Have a, she would tell everybody that walked in, have a good workout, and guys probably can attest to this. I'll say, I don't know, how women are with this too, but like when you get like certain like interactions with people, they be like, "Oh hey, how you doing? Okay, have a good one." Like just like you just see, I don't know. Anyway. We like I said, we're not gonna touch too much on that. But so I saw her at the gym a few times, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna say something to her, and I was like, man, I don't know what if what if she's like, no, like, would she laugh at me? What if this, like, I was just thinking about all this different stuff. And I just, I definitely just sat back and I was like, you know what? Literally, the worst that she can say is no. And it's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, there will be other women out there. It's not the end of the world. So I was like, I'm just walk up to her and say something. So walk up to her one day, if workout finished, I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably should have just went home and took a nap because I'm like, bro, it was a rough workout too. But I get done working out. I'm like, man, I'm just go up to her, and I was just trying to start conversation. I was like, man, what can I say? So I asked her. The idea just popped in my head. I was like, hey, are y'all hiring? She was like, yeah, you can go on Indeed, and I think we may have some stuff on there. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, hey, I don't mean to be rude or interrupt your day. Like I know you're at work and everything, but um I just wanted to let you know that you were very very beautiful, and if you didn't mind, I wanted to get to know you and potentially take you out at some time. This real smooth. Nothing crazy. And her response was, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend." And she was like, she kind of laughed about it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. Have a good day." And she's like, "Okay, you too." And I saw her maybe like once or twice after that, and it was just kind of weird. I was like, like I will say, like if you do get rejected and you see that person again, it's like like the interaction, like it's kind of weird. Like you don't want to say nothing to them really. So, but I would say I felt good because I would rather that happen than me not say anything and she, let's say, what if she didn't have a boyfriend? I wouldn't know. But I just say that just to give y'all an example. Even if you get rejected, like as long as like you tried, it is what it is. Like you did what you could, like you know. And I didn't do nothing extra. Like I literally just finished the workout. I'm drenched in sweat. I got a hoodie on. I got a towel around my neck. I'm over here wiping sweat. I don't even got my glasses on, and my eyes is red because every time I work out, my eyes turn red for some reason. I don't know. Like I intense workouts. So I'm just like I'm literally ready to take a nap, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me just go. So I just went up to her, and she rejected me, but it's cool. Like I said, I don't deal on that stuff. It wasn't meant to be. So Like I said, it is what it is. But just be you. And like I said, it could be like with a job interview or anything. Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. Just be you, be real, be authentic, whatever. But I'm glad I touched on that because I want to get into the, a few other things I'm going to be talking about on the podcast. Working out. Because I do need to get back into working out consistently. Because if you know me, then you know I was working out 4 or 5 times a week. I'm gonna get back to it. I guarantee you. I promise you, I will get back to that. I'm working out tomorrow. After I finish this video, I'm gonna edit it. I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't know how many hours. I'm probably gonna get 4 or 5, maybe. But obviously, I'm gonna try to get more. The rest of the week. But I'm gonna work out tomorrow, and then just trying to. Also, I need to get back into just getting back into shape. That's one thing I'm gonna speak on too. Just being active, being healthy. You know, because a few things that I do. So I play basketball in a men's YMCA league. I play with a few guys that I went to school with. Um, so yeah, just doing that, and then I try. I mean, no, I work out. I will get back to working out 4 or 5 times a week. And now I'm just like stagnant. I'm like 1 or 2 times a week, but this is bad right now. But it's gonna get better. We gonna improve. I'm telling you, as this podcast goes on, I'm gonna update y'all on just my fitness and health and making sure I'm straight and everything. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna touch a lot on fitness. I'll probably each day I work out, I'll just fill y'all in on what I did exactly that day and stuff like that. Most of the time when I do like just go to the gym to work out, I go with my guy Malik Bolton. Shout out to him, man. He's been my guy. We went to the same high school and started training because funny because he's started training like just started like fitness training people. And I was like, man, I definitely need to get into shape because I'm hooping, but I feel like I need to do something else to, help with not just hooping, but just to help with like, my fitness. So I was like, man, I could start, getting into working out, like training and stuff outside of hooping to help, get better. And ever since then, I'll just say like, I've gotten a lot stronger. I've gotten like just like different things that I couldn't really do before I was working out that I can do now, and it's like it's nothing. But when did I start? I started back in 2020, or was it 2019? No, it was definitely 2020. Yep, it was definitely 2020 because I want to say it was after COVID happened. Yeah, I think it was after COVID. Yeah, it was after COVID. It was after COVID. So yeah, around 2020 was when I started, like June or July. Might have been a little bit after that, maybe August. But I started in 2020, and I got into a point where I was, like I said, working out 4 or 5 times a week. Then I got to a point where I wasn't working out. Like I was working out maybe once or twice a week. Got to that point, and then that's where I'm trying to build back up to that. But like I said, we're gonna get back to it. So y'all gonna see some big transformations. But definitely gonna be big into fitness. You know, I'm not the biggest fitness guru, but if you ask me for any advice, I do my best to give you what advice I do have. Like I said, I don't have much, but definitely gonna talk a lot about fitness. I'm definitely another topic I'm gonna speak about a lot is gonna be music too. Because I think music with anything, like you could apply music really to any part of your life. So I think music is a big thing too. I'm definitely gonna talk a lot about music. I don't, I, it's so, it's so much I could say about music, honestly. But what else? So I was talking about music, talking about fitness, the other stuff that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Mm, I'll touch briefly on work because I don't want to make, I obviously don't want to make it a podcast about telling y'all about work. Not saying my job is bad. I don't have a bad job. It's pretty good. But I touch on work briefly, maybe every now and then, every so often. But like I said, one of the biggest things is, just getting just getting my point of view, my perspective out there to the world. So it's a lot of different things that I will talk about, and if I didn't touch on it today, I will touch on it in another episode. But like I said, this is the first unofficial episode I could say. I had a whole, thing put together I was gonna call it the introduction, but that's pretty much, I'm just trying to think of anything else before I, wrap up everything, but I'm just, okay, give me like 10 seconds, I think. 5 10 seconds. I need more than that. At the moment, I can't really think of anything else. Also too, cause so this is what I want to touch on real quick. I know this is the end of the video, but I want to speak on, and when I bring my sister Tajay back on, shout out to my sister though. Like, she's a big, one of my biggest supporters. Like, man, that's my ride or die right there. That's my my big little sister. She's older than me, but she's obviously shorter. But like, yeah, shout out to my sister, man, because she helped. She actually helped come up with, and that's the next topic I'll come into. Pause. That's the next topic I'll speak on, is just really the origin of the podcast, the name. So obviously the name of the podcast is Lamont's Life, and it's not necessarily about, like, I will touch on different aspects and different points of my life, but it's not gonna be a timeline. Like, I'm not just gonna bore y'all with my life story, because that's not ideal. Like, I'm not trying to do that. But we actually came up with the name last week sometime, in my room. And we was just, because I was just trying to, I was asking him, like, he helped me come up with the idea, like, of a name, because I don't know what to call it. And I was like, I know what I'm gonna talk about. Like, I know different things I'm gonna touch on, but I don't know what to call the podcast. So we just come up with different things, and I don't know where it came up, but and I'll give her credit I'll take it to the grave. She came up with the name. My sister Tajay came up with the name, cause we were throwing ideas out there. I did come up with some ideas. I think it was like Terry Talks or something like that, and I didn't really like that. I'm not gonna lie. She was like, "What about like Lamont's Life?" I was like, I thought about it at first. I was like, that might be, like, in my head. I was like, that might be like a banger. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But then I was like, I was just trying to get, like, a bunch of different ideas. Then we came back to that. So I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So she came up with it. Like I said, I'm gonna give her the credit. We obviously was bouncing ideas off of each other. So she helped me come up with that name. So, shout out to my sister. But really, what I want Lamont's Life to mean is getting in perspective. And if y'all don't know, obviously, I don't really care about, putting that out there. But Lamont is my middle name. I'm named after my father. My dad, his name is Terry Lamont Franklin. So, yeah, so just letting y'all know, like, where I got that from. So, yeah, but like I said, shout out to my sister Tajay. She helped me come up with that. So, like I said, I appreciate her. Like I said, she's probably one of the first people that's gonna, be sitting next to me. So, stay tuned in another episode for that. But yeah, that really, I'm trying to think, because that helped me come up with that part of the segment. But, and I also too, I want this podcast to be a space where, like, because I don't, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not gonna look at you any different. I don't want anybody to take my opinions as, like, anything negative. I'm like, look, these are my opinions. Like, this is how I see different things, or this is how I handle different, things in life. And this is how, this my viewpoint of things. So don't look at it like, oh, he's like, nah, it's just like, this is my view. Like, yo, like I said, everybody's going to be different. So it's just my, like, don't take it with a grain of salt. Like, don't try to, like, take it and apply it to your life. Like, you can, in a sense of, like, okay, like, I've dealt with that, but, like, don't try to, take what I say or do on this podcast and try to twist it, because it's, you're not really gonna get anything out of that. If you do, that's cool. You don't get cool points for that. But that really, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's really all I got at this one. I can't really think of anything else. Like I said, if I didn't touch on it today, I'll touch on it at some point later on. But I said all that. This podcast going on almost an hour, but I said all that to say, once again, and I'm gonna say this a lot too. Y'all probably gonna get irritated with me saying this, but I appreciate every single one of y'all taking time. I don't even care if you don't listen to the whole audio, that's fine, or the whole podcast, that's fine. But I hope you do. But once again, I appreciate every single one of y'all, everybody, for tuning in. And it's a lot more coming. I'm telling you, this is just the start. This is just the beginning. Y'all stay tuned. Like, it's a lot more. So once again, I appreciate everybody that's watching, listening. I will have this podcast out on I'll upload it to YouTube, and then anywhere you can listen to podcasts. I think I'm gonna try to put it on Apple, Spotify. I don't know where else. I'm gonna have to do some research on where else podcasts are released. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty much any and everywhere. So if you can't watch it, if you can just listen to it, that'll be cool. But and like I said, I don't want to brag or anything like that, but I pretty much do everything myself. So obviously, I've got help from family and friends, to get things as far as like equipment and stuff, because like I said, I'm just getting into this space. So I'm just not saying I'm trying to knock anybody who's been doing it for a long time or anybody else that's in the space of podcasts, but this is just I'm doing it, like I said, I'm doing it my way. So another thing I want to speak on too, this is gonna be the last thing, I promise, because I probably like this dude if he don't hurry up. But just why I wanted to get into the space of doing a podcast, because people like, there's so many people that do a podcast. Like, there's everywhere you look, there's a podcast. But everybody has different reasons for doing their podcast. You might see like, okay, well, he's doing a sport. This person's doing a sports podcast. They're doing a podcast about just the differences that they've dealt with in life and overcoming struggles. This person's doing a podcast about comedy. It's just like different stuff, just different aspects and different things in the world. My particular purpose for doing it is just having a space where I can just like I said, I can just be like, I feel like being in this space, and especially with how the world is today, just being me, being real, being authentic. Like I said, I will say that a lot. You're probably gonna get annoyed with me saying that, but that's pretty much one of the main reasons I'm getting into this space of doing the podcast, is because I want to be in a space where I'm free to be myself, just free to be authentic. So, and if me, just like as a person, I'm not really a super talkative guy. Like if you see me like at work, and this is something I do have to work on, but like I'm not really, a person that's really gonna say a lot. So, and it's ironic because this podcast is going on an hour, but like if you just really get to know me, like it's a lot of stuff that I could talk about, but a lot of people don't really know because they see me and they're like, oh, he's probably quiet, but I mean, it's a lot I definitely talk about, and I definitely have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience with different things. So you may see me and I may seem quiet, but it's just that's something I definitely have to grow out of. But um, just being able to have a space to, just be free and, just be me and, express, my viewpoints on different things like sports, like my life experiences, like music, like, fashion, different stuff like that. So a bunch of different things. Like I said, it's gonna be a different topic almost every episode. But one of the main things that's gonna be consistent with every episode is me repeating certain things. So like being being real, being you, authentic, and stuff like that. So um, but that at least for this show or this episode, that's gonna be the last thing I got. But once again, and like I said, I'm gonna say this a lot. I'm also gonna say like I said a lot because you're gonna think back and like, yes, Terry, you said that already. We heard you. So, um, anyway, but I appreciate everybody once again. This episode just hit an hour, so I appreciate y'all once again. If you sit through the full hour, thank you, cause like you're a real one for real. But I appreciate every single one of y'all. God bless y'all. Um, it's a bunch more coming. Like I'm really excited. Like y'all just don't know. Y'all might see me like he doesn't look excited like at all. Like he's stale. Like, but it's more so on the inside. So I'm excited. It's gonna be. I think I'm gonna do big things, and it's gonna be. I just feel like it's gonna be nothing but good times, and good energy, positive energy. So once again, I appreciate everybody. God bless y'all. Stay safe. Family and friends. Be safe. But it's a lot more coming, and it's a lot more good content. Like a lot more special guests will be on here as well. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Be safe. You know, and until next time, peace.
D.A. Joy in your speakers.